What's up, guys? Welcome back to yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. Today, I'm starting a new, little series. It's called Freedom Isn't Free. Y'all like my little heart notepad? And the reason that I wanted to make this particular series is because inevitably, if you do enough YouTube, if you do enough of whatever online, you get a million questions about, how do you do it? Why do you do it? Where do you go? You get a barrage of questions. So again, this is my attempt in order to A, better inform the people that watch my channel, B, to not have to answer the same question over and over and over again across multiple different platforms, and also to clarify either misconceptions or myths about how this whole thing gets done. This is part one, and I'm going to be discussing the costs involving full-time RV or van life traveling. First and foremost, there are a lot of misconceptions about how you do this. People just think that, one day, you just get tired of, going to work and, doing maintenance and stuff on the house. And then if you just buy one of these or you get a van or whatever, that everything is going to change. All your problems are going to go away. But I'm just going to start off by saying right here and right now, freedom is not free, and it is not without its costs. Being free, living life, being a human being, it requires a lot of time. It requires effort. It requires maintenance, and you're going to incur costs. And if you're not prepared for those costs, you can quickly see your Instagram life, your perfect Instagram life, go right into the shitter, period. I'm going to just talk real with you all because I don't want you all to think that everything is just roses out here. Most people don't realize how much work and effort and money that it actually takes to do what I do. I think I've said this in one of my previous videos, that as a photographer and as a YouTuber, don't believe the hype. And it wasn't actually on one of my YouTube videos. I think I posted it along with one of my Instagram photographs. But as a photographer and as a YouTuber, it is my job to show beautiful things. I like to photograph beautiful things. I like to video beautiful things. But if that's all that I ever show you, if that's all that you ever see, you're going to be misled into thinking that that's the way it always is. But I don't want you to fall into that trap. So I'm here to help. So I'm going to start off. I've got my little list going here. And this is just the costs of things that I want you all to start considering. Because unless you're a trust fund baby, unless you are independently wealthy, unless you are retired and you have a pension or something like that, you're still going to have to work. Because I know that a lot of my videos and a lot of my photographs, they look awe-inspiring and they're very beautiful. I agree. I took them. I think that they're gorgeous, or I wouldn't have shared them in the first place. But it's not always that way. Those are highlights of my life. I still have to work, and I work a lot. So there's going to be a lot of days where I'm just sitting out here in my RV and I'm working. I'm not doing anything except editing a video, or I'm scouring all of the photographs that I've taken, and I'm having to work. And that portion of the entire process, most people just don't talk about. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that traveling is expensive. It's not like living in a house where all of your stuff is stationary. All of your stuff just sits, and when you buy it, you find a little knickknack somewhere and you place it on the credenza or on your mantle, and then it just sits there until you decide to either move it, dust around it, or, get rid of it for another new knickknack. Traveling is expensive. And the more crap that you have in your rig, in your van, in your bus, in your RV, whatever, that is going to cost you money to transport. Anytime you have to travel, you have to drag around all those little knickknacks, all those little things, those little whatnots, all those little cutesy things that look fantastic on Instagram. You have to move them every single time. And all of those little things add up to a lot of weight. Gas, at least here recently, has been pretty reasonable. Coronavirus and all, the demand kind of went down the tubes and gas prices just got super duper awesome. But generally, in a more natural environment, gas is never that cheap. So you'll start weighing your pros and cons as to, do I want to move that? Do I really need to move today? Do I really want to go see that next, grandiose, amazing thing? Probably not. You start going, well, I'm going to have to move all that stuff again. I have to find another campsite. I have to set up and get all my stuff out and then, put it, it's a hassle. It can definitely be a hassle. That's the reason we started to do, at least for some of us, started to do this in the first place, was minimalism. Make it minimal so you don't have to drag around a bunch of crap that's just weighing you down. The next thing that no one ever talks about is debt. If you are in any way, shape, or form in debt right now, if you carry debt, if you hold on to debt, that's a horrible thing to do. And if you are a debt slave now and you enjoy it and you like going to work and you like paying monthly bills every single month, you're probably going to still like it while you're out here doing this. You're going to buy stuff that you don't need. You're going to charge it and you're going to pay interest on it for 12 years. And at that point, you're not even going to remember what you spent the money on and if you even liked it in the first place. Debt makes you a slave. And if you are a slave, that means you're going to have to do something in order to repay that debt. That means you're going to have to work. If you are going to carry debt, make sure that it's on something that's actually meaningful. You know, don't buy anything unnecessarily. You should always have a reserve method of cash somewhere. I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. I love his baby steps program. I love the snowball effect in order to pay off your debt. I've helped several people, get introduced to that system, and it's a quick and easy way to start paying down your debt extremely fast and effectively. And it makes life being out here a whole lot less stressful because you're not worried about, where is the money going to come from in order to pay off that debt. The point is that if you have debt, get rid of it. And if you've gotten rid of it, don't go into more of it. Don't buy one of these. This is a depreciating asset. Poor people buy depreciating assets with debt. Okay, so if you go out and you buy a new rig, I know you're super excited, but it's the worst investment you could possibly make. Don't ever buy a vehicle. Don't ever buy a vehicle with debt. It's not worth it. It's literally not worth it. It's going to drop in value every single day that you own it. So if you're going to buy one used. Let the person who bought it fresh off the lot take the depreciation hit. This is a depreciating asset. Your vehicle is a depreciating asset. Yes, they are tools of freedom. Yes, they are instruments of adventure, but they are a depreciating asset and they don't make you any money. So why the hell would you go into debt for it? There was a saying that my grandfather gave me years and years ago, and it just stuck with me. If you don't have the money to buy it right then and there, you probably don't need it. 95% of you are not going to listen to me. You are going to be poor. You're going to stay poor, both in life and in material wealth. Like, you're just never going to have any money because you like debt. You see something and you want it right now. And I'm sorry, that's just a horrible way to live your life. So continue enjoying your debt slavery. It's all up to you. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all if you have to work your ass off until you're 85 years old in order to pay it all off. But most likely you're going to die before you pay it all off, and then you're going to pass it on to your kids. And what an asshole you are at that point. But you have so many other things to consider besides just the debt. You've got food. You've got gas, which we've talked about already. As a human being, we require fuel, and food costs money. And the more foo-foo the food, the more expensive the food, so that you can make really cool and interesting Instagram photographs and stuff. You're dumb. Be sensible about your food. You don't have to buy the best of everything. You just need to buy good, wholesome food, but it doesn't have to be super duper foo-foo. It really doesn't. I also highly recommend it. Never eating out. It is a complete waste of your money. You're literally spending roughly 4 times the amount that you would spend at the grocery store, and you could eat 4 times as long for that same amount if you just cook at home. So don't eat out. I don't care how many stars the restaurant got. It's a waste of money. So again, unless you just like wasting money and overspending and buying crap that you don't need, go to the grocery store, learn how to cook a meal, you'll be fine. Next thing you need to consider is you have to insure stuff. Like, if you're going to do it full time, your whole life is going to be in one of these. Your entire life, your computers, your cameras, your business, your papers, your life, your whatever, anything expensive, it's going to be in there because this is your life. Anything you've ever owned, it's going to be in there. And someone could easily hit it accidentally. I had friends that had a gorgeous Airstream, got hit by a truck, and literally ripped the whole shell right off the frame. Their entire life exploded right in front of their eyes. Thankfully, they were just fine, but their entire life was in there, and it was gone. And if you don't have insurance on your rig, your whole life is gone. And then what do you do after that? Next, you're going to need phone. So if you happen to still be of working age, then you have to be able to contact the rest of the world. I have to have a phone plan that I can reach everywhere. Most of the time, I can get a signal. I can do most of the work I need to do. I can contact the people that I love. I can do all those things, and it works out really good. Otherwise, I have to do something else. I have to figure out a different way to go about doing this. In some cases, that means I have to completely change my location. I have to completely change where I was going to go in order to get a stronger signal so that I can edit edit and then upload my work. That's how it works. So sometimes I plan where I'm going to stop around where am I going to get the best signal. I know some people that carry around 2, sometimes even 3 different phone plans so that depending on where they're at, they can use that particular phone plan at there. But all of those phone plans cost money. So you're looking at, anywhere from $40 to $100 per month per plan. And, not all of your plans are going to work all in the same places. So that's a consideration. If you're of working age and you still plan on doing some work from the road, you're going to need internet access more than likely if you're going to be working remote. Next thing that most people don't really think about is like their showers, their water, washing dishes, something as simple as that. We do it every single day in a house. Most people never even think about it. You just turn on the faucet, water shows up. Here, you've got resource management. You have to think about how much you're consuming and how often are you consuming it is going to dictate how often you're going to have to go back into town to get more of it. So if you're not being conservative with your resources, you're going to have to take more trips back into town. So if you leave your rig out here all by itself, then it's now at risk. Or if you just drive your truck or your van or whatever, and you go into town, you're consuming a resource in order to go get another resource. So it's not always just, hey, I'm just going to go in there and get some more water. Yeah, but how much gas did it take you to drive the 30 miles back into a town that has potable water in order to drive 30 miles back just so you can have $5 worth of water? How much money did you spend? And that is something that a lot of people never think about. Next, you're going to have doo-doo in your rig at some point. You're going to have to figure out what to do with that poop. If you've got like a composting toilet, eventually you're going to have to dump it somewhere. You could dig a hole. That would be effective. But, it's labor, so you've got that to consider. Or if you have an RV, you might have to stop at a dump station, or you might have to get a campground once every couple of weeks and dump all your tanks and flush them out and that type of thing. The wind started picking up a little bit, so I kind of moved the phone in a sheltered area inside my truck. Anyway, so then we have to talk about maintenance. Okay, you're gonna have maintenance on your vehicle. You're gonna have maintenance of all of your systems, whether it be your electrical system, your water system, your tank system, your vehicle. You're gonna have spark plugs and oil changes and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of maintenance involved. Just recently, back in, I think it was February, I had a surprise brake job that I had to do. $400 just right out of the gate. Wasn't planning on it, didn't think about it, but thank God I had money to take care of that. Most people go out there and think, well, I'm just going to live in this vehicle and I'm going to save all kinds of money. Yeah, but stuff needs maintenance. You have to fix things and you have to maintain those things in order to continue to live your Instagram life. So if you don't have any money set back, or if you're already in debt, then that means you're not going to have as much money in order to have in case of emergencies. So stuff costs money to maintain. Make sure that you have an emergency fund. Make sure that you have money that you can maintain your vehicle. Make sure that you have money to maintain your RV or your van or whatever, because it's going to happen. May not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Another thing that most people don't think about is, what about the tolls and the fees, the campgrounds, the parks, and all the attractions that you're wanting to go and see. Okay? All of those things cost money. I had to get a national park pass because I knew that I was going to be going to a lot of these national parks. That's $80. Sometimes you're going to hit roads that have tolls on them. Do you have the extra money for that? Are you carrying any cash with you? Are you going to stop at that museum you've always thought you were going to, all of these little minor things that you think, it's just $20. It's just $35. To get into Bryce Canyon National Park all by itself costs $35. Most of them don't take a credit card either. Most of these places don't take a debit card. They don't take a credit card. You have to either have cash or a check on hand, and that just sucks. So you have to pre-plan, and then you might have to go out of your way in order to go get that cash. So maybe, start thinking about all those little incidentals that are going to total up and start costing you money. Now, I'm one of the very, very few that like to be the bearer of bad tidings. I don't like to have to, talk about the hassles, because I try to be very positive. I try to think about all the good stuff that I'm doing, all the fun stuff that I'm doing, but that's not reality. And neither is most of the crap that you're going to see on YouTube and Instagram. It's our job to make things look awesome and beautiful and fun, but it's not always that way. You've got a lot to think about, and you've got a lot to consider, and cost of being out here. Now, it doesn't cost me anything at the moment, but as soon as I hitch up, as soon as I start wanting to drag my rig to a new location because of some attraction, then now I'm putting wear and tear on my vehicle. I'm consuming resources. I'm doing a lot of stuff that costs money. Most people just don't think about that stuff. So that's what I'm here to do, make you think. At any rate, thanks again so much for watching yet another riveting episode here on the Avion Awesome channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to have some more videos like this. And I'll see you guys again on the next one. Peace.